the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Susan Tran. Tonight, we are seeing new signs of pushback against funding and job cuts by the Department of Government Efficiency, which, of course, is led by Tesla owner Elon Musk. Dozens of people protesting outside of one of Musk's Tesla dealerships there in Northern Virginia. DC News Now's Max Marcillo was over at the rally and shows us the sights and sounds of their frustration.
Elon Musk has got to go!
They're calling for support in the form of a honk, and they're getting plenty of them. In front of this Tesla shop on South Glebe Road in Arlington,
No more Tesla!
dozens of protesters on both sides of the street sounding off against Elon Musk and Doge.
This is not the way to treat federal workers.
The root of the frustration is the slashing of government agencies and jobs. Barbara Addy is a recently retired federal worker who feels the Government Accountability Office should be leading the effort to manage the federal budget.
They cut projects that are over budget. They do not cut people.
I think if we stay silent, it's kind of over for our democracy.
This is just one of many protests happening outside Tesla shops across the country, and this group says they want a message to get across not just to Elon Musk, but also to the people driving by in their own Teslas.
If you can't afford to sell or trade in your Tesla, I think it's time to put a sticker over the Tesla symbol saying that you do not agree with the CEO's politics right now.
This requested action, a show of protest of Musk's company at a time when he is touting his own efforts to cut waste in the public sector. But at this protest, which will be happening every Tuesday, there's frustration considering the amount of federal workers in the DC area.
The way he is doing it is wrong, and it's actually evil and cruel.
In Arlington, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
We're also following breaking news out of the district. Hundreds of families in D.C. could lose free childcare due to the city's budget cuts. CommuniKids is one of the largest organizations providing universal preschool for families here in the district. And the leaders at CommuniKids say that the district's education agency has informed them their families will need to apply to other programs or charter schools for next year because there's uncertainty about the funding for the universal preschool program. There are also concerns from childcare advocates that the district is planning to phase out universal preschool by 2027.
Also breaking tonight on Capitol Hill, House Republicans passing a spending bill with $4.5 trillion in tax breaks and $2 trillion in spending cuts. All Democrats opposed the bill. Some rank-and-file Republicans, though, were reportedly uneasy about it. Next steps for the bill, they include weeks of committee hearings to draft the details and send the House version to the Senate.
A lot of work yet to be done, but we're going to celebrate tonight, and we'll roll up our sleeves and get right back at it in the morning.
Democrats in the House and the Senate say they vow to keep fighting the whole process. All right, let's get a first check on the forecast, and not a bad looking Tuesday evening.
Oh my goodness. Meteorologist Scott Sumner, we love this taste of spring. I wanted to carry it forth until the real spring.
Yeah, which technically today's high brought us into the month of April here, middle of April.
Good.
We'll keep it.
You know, we're going to just keep plugging along and see what happens. As you see here, a temperature graphic over the next 24 hours where those temperatures will fall and where they'll rise, as noted here. We'll be dropping down into the upper 30s around 5 o'clock in the morning and start to turn the corner. Look at this, getting right up into the 60s once again by mid-afternoon before starting to take a little bit of a tumble. But tomorrow night will not be as cold as tonight because we'll be having more in the way of clouds and also some showers start to build into the area. So yes, it is going to be a little bit of a change here. What about the out-the-door forecast? Let's step outside and see what we have on the 26th of February. Well, this is what we're looking at here. A chilly but dry morning as temperatures are going to be in the 30s with a light westerly breeze here. Not too bad to start off your day with, but again, clouds are going to be rolling on in, and we're going to be staying spring-like here. Rain more likely comes in on Thursday, and then we have a brief cool down on Friday. Stick around. I've got that full 7-day forecast to give you the low down and the cool down and all the other downs out there coming up.
God, we'll see you then. Developing now at 9, cookie chaos in southern Maryland. A person swindling Girl Scouts out of cash, handing the girls fake dough.
It is just unbelievable here. The sheriff shaking his head over the cruel crime and is now investigating. DC News Now's Randy Bass tells us more about this bad batch of cash.
Grade school age Girl Scouts now victims of counterfeit cash here in St. Mary's County. They were just trying to sell cookies at a shopping center like this one here in California. But now both the community and the sheriff's office are standing behind those scouts. Girl Scouts Spencer and Molly are 11 and 13 years old. It's not their first cookie season, but it is their first time dealing with something like this.
I don't know why someone would do that. Like, why would you make someone feel that way, like, just to get your money back? Like, that's not very fair.
The St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office investigating.
It's outrageous, and frankly, shame on you.
After they say someone paid with fake bills at 2 Girl Scout cookie stands in California. One of those troops raising money for a trip to Europe.
They're enjoying an afternoon. They're so incredibly trusting, and this is a terrible thing to do.
Around the same time, about a block away, another troop selling cookies also falling victim to fake bills. Their mothers heartbroken someone would try to take from their girls.
Audriana's just been going around saying, I can't believe someone was so mean to do this to Girl Scouts.
I think a lot of lessons are being learned, and we're going to try to figure out ways to turn this into something positive.
And for Scout Molly, it's a big motivator.
I think it's made me want to sell more. We had this happen to us, and if it happens to you, you'll be okay too, and you can keep going.
Now the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office says it is planning to hold a workshop for the girls later this week to help teach them how to spot counterfeit cash. If they come across any in the future, anybody with any information at all is urged to get in touch with deputies. In California, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Tonight, a death investigation in Northern Virginia. Police say a man was found dead in Alexandria. Investigators providing very few details, only that the man's body was located on Seminary Road earlier today. And in Maryland, a second lockdown in less than a week at Bethesda Chevy Chase High School. Montgomery County police saying a student had an airsoft gun. That's a real-looking toy gun that shoots plastic pellets. Teenager was arrested off campus. He's now facing several charges, including possession of a weapon on school property. Now, last Wednesday, gunshots near the school forced a lockdown as well. At least one student was arrested in that incident.
Happening tomorrow, Real Housewives of Potomac star Karen Huger will be sentenced for last year's DUI crash. She could face up to 2 years in jail. Huger is known as the Grande Dame, and a jury found her guilty in December in that drunk driving crash where she wrecked her Maserati. Montgomery County Police, they have body camera video. You can see right here, it showed her visibly intoxicated, telling officers she had a couple of beers at a friend's house. Huger has since checked herself into a private recovery program, which also meant that she missed the reality show's reunion episode. All new tonight, award-winning singer and musician Rhiannon Giddens cancels her show at the Kennedy Center. Giddens is the latest artist to cancel an appearance at the Kennedy Center since President Trump forced out the center's leadership. In a social media post, she specifically cites the president's decision to take over the center. Giddens' show has been moved to the Anthem, a private venue in Southwest D.C. Meanwhile, the International Pride Orchestra says the Kennedy Center uninvited them to perform for World Pride. They say they got a one-sentence email that read, "We are not able to offer you a contract at this time." They'll now be holding their Pride celebration concert at the Strathmore Music Center in Bethesda on June 5th. Now, we did reach out to the Kennedy Center. They told us they do not have a formal statement. Now to an embattled D.C. agency under more scrutiny tonight. The City Council is now looking into the concerns surrounding the Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement. Yeah, there are now 2 people connected to that agency, each facing a federal bribery charge. The latest, Dana McDaniel. She served as deputy director of WUNS from 2020 to 2023. Court documents claim she accepted at least $10,000 in cash for her influence on violence interruption contracts and grants. Now, this is the same office tied to the bribery indictment of former council member Trayon White. He was expelled from the council just a few weeks ago. Tonight, council member Brooke Pinto calling for changes.
Ensure that we are building in more safeguards so that this important funding and these important efforts are done with fidelity.
Mayor Muriel Bowser says that her administration investigated the agency after White was charged, and McDaniel was let go shortly after due to that investigation. Now to a major milestone in Western Maryland, the AMU Ebenezer Church in Hagerstown. It is set to mark its 200th anniversary.
That is impressive, isn't it? It comes as the senior pastor at the church prepares to step down. We spoke to some members of the church who have been coming there for decades, a few for their entire lives. They tell us after all the years, the community and love, it is still strong, and they expect that to continue.